The honourable member from Kildonan, St. Paul.
Mr. Speaker, after 9 years of NDP Liberals, taxes are up, costs are up, crime's up, and time's up. The Toronto police are on the front lines of gun violence in Canada. One of their officers was recently shot by a repeat violent offender. And yet, shockingly, yesterday, the Liberal Prime Minister took some deranged victory lap on social media for his attack on licensed, trained, and police-vetted sports shooters. And let's remember that after 9 years of Liberals, gun violence in Canada is up 116%. Their approach has categorically failed, Mr. Speaker. When will they finally get tough on the criminals responsible for gun violence?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, it's a shame to see once again Conservatives using the talking points of the gun lobby instead of standing up for victims of crime and standing up to get guns off our streets. Mr. Speaker, we also know that women are disproportionately affected by gun violence, and what do Conservatives do? They want more guns on our streets. They cut funds from CBSA to stop the import of illegal guns and then stand in this place acting as if they support victims of crime. Mr. Speaker, it's a shame. We have committed to get guns off our street while Conservatives work for the gun lobby.
The honourable member from Kildonan, St. Paul.
In the words of the Toronto Police Association to this Liberal Prime Minister, quote, "Criminals did not get your message. Our communities are experiencing a 45% increase in shootings, a 62% increase in gun-related homicides compared to the last year. What difference does your handgun ban make when 85% of guns seized by our members can be sourced to the United States? Your statement is out of touch and offensive to victims of crime and police officers everywhere. Whatever you think you've done to improve community safety has not worked. When will the Liberals call an election so we can finally bring an end to the crime and chaos they created in our streets?"
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Public Security.
Mr. Speaker, once again, let's talk about Conservative logic. They think putting more guns on our street is going to somehow keep our communities safer. We know that that doesn't work. Their cuts to CBSA to allow the import of illegal guns is something that we have had to clean up. Conservatives care only about the gun lobby and not about Canadians. Mr. Speaker, we have put in place
I'm actually going to. I've been having difficulty hearing the answer to this question, and I'm gonna because it. So I'm going to ask honourable members, please, to allow us to hear the answer to this question. There was a lot, from the moment that this member stood up, a lot of heckling. I'm going to ask the honourable member to start a. The honourable member, honourable parliamentary secretary, can please start from the top.
Mr. Speaker, it's interesting that every time I stand in this place and call out Conservative hypocrisy around violence in our communities, they can't stand it. This is why they try to silence voices like mine who stand up for women in particular who are disproportionately affected by gun violence. Right. Mr. Speaker, what Conservatives believe is more guns on our street will somehow help keep our communities safe. But we know what keeps communities safe is getting these guns off our streets, investing in CBSA to protect our borders, while Conservatives take their talking points from the gun lobby.
Hear, hear.
From Durham.
Canadians are sick and tired of the Prime Minister's misleading statements about gun violence.
That's right.
Yesterday, the Prime Minister had the audacity to pat himself on the back over his appalling handgun crime record. Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm a Canadian who lost a friend 3 years ago to gun violence, and I take the Prime Minister's deception personally. Handgun crime is up 116% since the Liberals came into power. Families are grieving, and the Toronto Police Association is calling out the Prime Minister for being out of touch and offensive to victims. Canadians simply deserve better. Canadians deserve a Prime Minister and a government that will stop the crime, not this Prime Minister who is focused on celebrating his own failures.